Welcome to Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, back again with another episode, y'all. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about how and why people get out of gangs, right? That's something that a lot of people have been asking me about. So, in this episode, I'm going to talk about that and hopefully um, educate you out there. Now, everybody knows that I don't recommend you get in a gang, period. But if you are in a gang or if you have a loved one in a gang, I think that you need to know how what it is and how to get out of it, and why a lot of people end up getting out of it. Right. So I hope that you enjoy this show and you learn something from it. Uh, it's gonna be a good one, y'all. Yeah, here we go, y'all. How and why do people get out of gangs? Right. Let me talk about the why first. Why people get out of gangs. The top reason, the number one reason, from my experience, is to as to why people get out of gangs is because they're forced out. I know that a lot of people may not believe that, but you do get some people do get forced out of a gang because they, uh, for different reasons. You can get forced out of a gang because you testified against somebody, and you've been labeled a snitch. You can get forced out of a gang because you don't put in work, or meaning follow orders. If you've been told to go do something and you don't do it, you can be put out of a gang. Um, what other reasons can you be put? You can be put out of a gang if you are caught doing things that are against the rules. Yes, they are. There are rules in gangs. You have to conduct yourself a certain way. Most of it is crazy as all get out. Like some of the rules are that unspoken rules and spoken rules. Some of the rules are that, as far as gangster disciples, you cannot use drugs. They don't mind if you smoke weed, but addictive drugs is what it says, and that's left up to interpretation because a lot of the brothers I know is using cocaine, heroin, meth, Suboxone, and I don't know of the, of any drugs that are more addictive than those, but people turn a blind eye to it depending on the circumstances. Um, yeah, those are just a few of the reasons um, why people get put out of gangs, right? Now, how do they get put out of gangs? How do they get put out of gangs? Um, that's where it gets tricky because you had a lot of people that uh, don't want to continue to live that lifestyle, but they don't really have the option of getting out. So, what do they do? I know as far as GD, you have to have a certain amount of years in. It used to be 20 years. I don't know what it is now. And you have to be over a certain age. Now, I'm not exactly sure if it's still 20 years because I've been hearing that there is no out. They let you sit on the bench, but you still can be called upon. You know what I mean? But again, let me just go back to that. One of the ways that you can get out is you can retire. I think that only applies to certain gangs where they'll let you retire. Bloods and Crips is for life, but you can walk away from that if you are willing to accept what comes with that. If you want to get out and you haven't done anything to break the rules that would cause you to be forced out, uh, you can the same way you got put in the gang is the same way you get put out of like Bloods and Crips. You get beat out. That means that they'll pick a handful of guys at a certain time, certain location, and they will beat you within an inch of your life. And after that beating, you're free. You can do whatever you want to do, go on about your life. But it's going to be painful. It's going to be painful. And these are the people that you need to keep in mind that say that they love you. But this lifestyle is so distorted, it's so polluted, it's so poisoned that those types of actions, beating you in and beating you out, are considered acts of love. Yeah, you heard me right. Those acts are considered acts of love. And it's not true, but that's what they see. Now, when it comes to GD and Vice Lord, if you don't have enough time in to retire, it's the same thing. But when they run you off, they don't want you left on the compound. They used to say it's because you know things about the organization and you might tell people this, and that. So we want to put you in a situation where you can't tell people our secrets. So they run you to check in. They make you check in and leave the compound. Well, guess what? You can't go anywhere because at every prison you have these organizations and they may have the same view at the other prisons that you know information about the organization that could be detrimental to the survival of the organization. So you are not allowed on the compound and you have to stay in protective custody until you get out. The truth of the matter is this: there are no secrets about any of these organizations now. You can go online and find out anything that you want to find out about them if you know where to look. It's not that hard to find out what's going on when it comes to organizations. Trust me, the show that I'm doing now is one of many. Now, I'll keep it real. I'd rather you listen to mine to get the information. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to keep it raw and real with you, where a lot of other ones, they're going to tell you this watered down version of it. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Another way that you can get out of gangs is to go to the administration and tell them that you want out. And then they can move you, but you're going to be running at that point for your life. Because at the end of the day, there's no easy way in an organization or a gang, and there's no easy way out. I have known a few people that were able to just walk away, you know what I'm saying, because they were well respected. They were well respected, and they just got to a point where they just were tired. Just tired. Like, I know my situation was I just got tired. I had been feeling that way for years. I saw what it was about with clear eyes early on. And for years, I tricked myself into believing that if I did it this way and they would follow me, that it would be better. Each year that I reasserted myself to that mission, that goal, each year I learned that it was more and more crap. The organization and the people in it didn't want to evolve. And they're not going to allow you to do anything to help it evolve into something that can do good. It's just not going to happen. You have too many people in it that are eating good, living good, and have this sense of worth that the organization or the gang gives them. And they're not willing to give that up. Not freely. Not freely. When they get put in a situation where they're on the other side of things, yeah, they want out. Then they'll tell you that they've always felt like that and that you shouldn't join. I understand that too. Because it's one thing about the life of gang members. It's like living with a bunch of piranhas. And the moment that you get nicked and blood is leaking, you're going to be eaten alive. It's just that on that. And the ones that'll be eating you alive, they will enjoy it. And they will be some of the people that you've called friend, brother, people that you've broken bread with. But that's just what it is. So like I said, a lot of people get out of gangs because they're forced out. They become disillusioned with the lifestyle. They become tired of it. Or they check in. Or they're forced to check in. You have a lot of people that get out of gangs by retiring, depending on which gangs, or getting beat out. There it is. Now, I'll tell you one thing about getting out. One way of getting out that a lot of people may not say out loud, because it's not that they let you out, but they'll put you on the bench, so to speak. And that is the people that end up dedicating their life to Christ. If you give your life over to God and they see that you're serious, they'll let you go your way. I've seen it time and time again. If you become a Muslim and they see that you're serious about it, they'll leave you alone. They'll let you go your way. So if you join a religion, in a lot of situations, they'll let you leave because they see that you're serious and you want to do something better with your life, and they know they better not play with God. So they'll let you go. So that's another way that people get out of gangs. I just wanted to share that with you real quick. I know this is a short episode, but look, this topic, it's one of those topics where you get straight to it. Because at the end of the day, being in a gang is wrong, in my opinion. And I know that you may think that the reasons that you join the gang are just and right, but I'm going to tell you something. You know, any situation that you're in, that you look at and see that, or believe that joining the gang is better than the situation that you're in, I'm going to tell you something. It may look that way on the outside, but it's not real. I'm telling you what's real. It is not true. No matter how bad your situation may be, joining a gang is not going to make it better. Remember that. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.